Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the most valuable Lincoln 1-cent coins value in market in dollar. So let's get started. First up, the 1976 Lincoln 1 cent, especially the version that has no mint mark. This coin was produced in large numbers, yet many people still wonder if a dirty or worn example could have any real value in today's coin market. The Lincoln cent has been part of American currency since 1909. It was first created to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical person. The design on the front of the coin shows the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which was designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has remained on the penny for more than a century and has become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. In 1976, the United States was celebrating an important national event known as the Bicentennial. This marked 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. During this time, several special coins were issued for collectors, but the Lincoln penny continued to use its familiar design. On the back of the 1976 penny, you can see the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C. If you look closely at the center of the memorial, you can even see a tiny representation of the Lincoln statue inside the building, which is a remarkable detail for such a small coin. One important feature collectors check on a coin is the mint mark. A mint mark is a small letter that shows where the coin was produced. Some 1976 pennies have a D mint mark, meaning they were struck at the Denver Mint. Others may have an S mint mark if they were produced in San Francisco. However, many 1976 Lincoln pennies have no mint mark at all. When a coin has no mint mark, it means the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint produced an enormous number of pennies in 1976. More than 4 billion coins were made that year without a mint mark. Because of this extremely high production number, the coin is considered very common today. Most examples that have been circulating for many years show signs of wear, dirt, and scratches from everyday use. Many people believe that if a coin is old and looks dirty, it must be worth a lot of money. In reality, coin collecting works a little. Next up, the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent coin is a small piece of American history that many people may still find in their everyday pocket change. At first glance, this coin might look very ordinary, and many people do not think twice about it. However, coin collectors often pay close attention to coins like the 1980 Lincoln penny because certain details, condition levels, and rare variations can make them more interesting and sometimes more valuable than expected. If you ever come across a 1980 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, it is worth taking a closer look to understand its background and its value in today's coin market. The front of the coin features the well-known portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in the history of the United States. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner and has appeared on the 1-cent coin since 1909. Around the portrait, you will see the words "In God We Trust" at the top, the word "Liberty" on the left side of the coin, and the year 1980 on the right side of the coin. If the coin does not have a small letter below the date, that means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. During many years in the past, the Philadelphia Mint did not place a mint mark on its pennies, which is why coins from that location often appear without any mint mark. The reverse side of the coin displays the Lincoln Memorial, the famous monument located in Washington, D.C. This design was created by Frank Gasparro and was used on Lincoln cents from 1959 until 2008. If you look closely at the center of the memorial, you can even see the tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln seated inside the building. The words "United States of America" appear across the top of the reverse side, while the phrase "1 cent" appears at the bottom, and the motto "E pluribus unum" is written above the memorial building.
In 1980, the United States Mint produced a very large number of Lincoln pennies. The Philadelphia Mint alone created billions of coins during that year, which means the 1980 penny without a mint mark is generally considered a common coin in circulation. Because so many were made, most examples that have been used in everyday transactions do not carry a high value today. However, collectors still examine these coins carefully because the condition of a coin can greatly influence its worth. Coin collectors use a grading system to describe how well a coin has been preserved over time. One of the grades often discussed is known as very fine condition. When a coin is described as very fine, it means the coin has clearly been used in circulation, but still retains strong design details. On a 1980 Lincoln penny.
Next up, the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent coin without a mint mark. At first glance, this coin may look very common and ordinary, but for coin collectors, the year 1982 is very special. It was a historic year for the United States penny because the U.S. Mint made major changes to the way the coin was produced. Because of these changes, many collectors carefully examine every 1982 penny they find, hoping it might be a valuable variety. The Lincoln 1-cent coin features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the front of the coin, you can see the words, "In God We Trust," above Lincoln's head. On the left side appears the word "Liberty," while the date, 1982, is placed on the right side. If there is no small letter under the date, it means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The back of the 1982 Lincoln penny shows the Lincoln Memorial Building located in Washington, D.C. Above the memorial are the words United States of America, and below it is the denomination 1 cent. Inside the memorial building, you can even see a small image of the Lincoln statue, which makes the design unique and recognizable to collectors around the world. What makes the 1982 penny especially important is that it was the year when the U.S. Mint changed the metal composition of the coin. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper and contained about 95% copper. However, because the price of copper increased, producing pennies became more expensive than their actual face value. To solve this problem, the U.S. Mint switched to a new metal composition that used a zinc core with a thin copper coating. Because this change happened during the year 1982, both copper pennies and zinc pennies were produced in the same year. This created several different varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent. Some coins have a large date, while others have a small date, and some are made of copper, while
Next up, the 1996 Lincoln 1 cent with the D mint mark. While it may look like an ordinary penny, understanding its history, condition, and market demand can reveal why collectors still pay attention to it today. The 1996 Lincoln cent was produced during a time when the penny had already become one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The front of the coin features the well-known portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and has remained a classic symbol in American coinage for more than a century. On the 1996 penny, you can see the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., a design that was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. One key detail that collectors always look for on coins is the mint mark. On the 1996 Lincoln penny, the small letter D appears just below the year on the front of the coin. This letter indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The United States Mint produces coins at several locations, and each location uses a different mint mark. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the years, and the 1996 D Lincoln penny is one of those high mintage coins. In fact, more than 6.5 billion 1996 D Lincoln cents were produced. Because such a large number of coins were minted, most examples are very common and can still be found in circulation today. This high mintage means that the majority of these coins are only worth their face value of 1 cent when found in average circulated condition.
However, the story becomes more interesting when collectors start paying attention to condition and quality. Coin collectors use a grading system to describe the condition of a coin. This system ranges from poor, which describes coins that are heavily worn and barely recognizable, all the way up to mint state, which describes coins that were never used in circulation and still show their original mint luster. A coin described as very fine falls somewhere in the middle of this grading scale. In very fine condition, a 1996 D Lincoln penny will still show clear features in Abraham Lincoln's hair and face, although some smoothing will be visible due to years of circulation. The Lincoln Memorial on the back will also remain visible, with most of the building's